Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video, and today we're going to be talking about every movie I watched last week. And I mean, the past few weeks have been some pretty solid weeks because I've been going through every movie of my perfect ratings. So everything that I've ranked a 100 out of 100, pretty much, with a couple of other movies thrown in there. But this week, I definitely did not do that. Let me tell you, I did not watch a lot of good movies this week. Not at all, actually. So, Kitty is joining us. Welcome. Okay, so really, with that being said, let's get into it. Like I said, this was not a good week. Yeah, but I had a crazy week. I watched 16 movies this week, which is insane. I think that's one of the highest I've ever done. It's one of my highest of the year as well. And crazy to think I've done more than that in a year, or in a week so far this year. So anyways, let's get into it, starting it off with one of the themes of the week, which is Scary Movie 5, which I ranked a nice 5 out of 100, which honestly I didn't mean to do, so I kind of think that's hilarious that I did that, but yeah. Fuck no, man. Spoof movies are not for me. I've noticed, I've learned spoof movies are not my kind of comedy. I understand people love them, and that's, all the power to you. But it's not for me, and these movies are not for me. And yeah, I ranked number 5 a 5 out of 100. I'm really not going to talk about any of these because I don't need to talk about any of these. Scary Movie 3 up next, which I ranked at 8 out of 100. So both of these two are now in the bottom 10. I don't believe there are any others joining the bottom 10 this week. So that's quite an impressive week, to say the least. I mean, 2 movies I watched this week are joining the bottom 10. That's quite rough, to say the least. So let's move on to Scary Movie 2, which I have at a 11 out of 100. Honestly, this one is probably my least favorite, but I get some points because Black Cat content. Shut up, Betty, wherever she is. I can hear her in her litter. But yeah, I didn't enjoy this one either. Again, scary movie, or not scary movies, but spook movies are just not for me. I made a list on my Letterboxd, which if you're following me, please follow me on Letterboxd. Link in the description. I made a list of all the spoof movies that I've watched, ranked, and they're just not good. But feel free to go check that out. Nonetheless, an 11 out of 100 for Scary Movie 2. So, up next to Scary Movie 4, which I ranked a 20 out of 100. And there was a few things I enjoyed from this one. Like, I actually gave it some points because there were some enjoyable things from this movie. Shout out to M. Night, really, truly, especially since I did all of M. Night's movies in July and August, so that's iconic. This was also my 950th unique movie ranked on Letterboxd, which is pretty cool, to say the least, but that's a lot of movies. I'm approaching 1,000, which I'm very excited for. That's probably going to happen next month, so I mean, I probably won't watch 50 movies this week, or this month, in 2.5 weeks, but I think that'll definitely happen in October, so that's exciting. Nonetheless, moving on to another theme of the week, which is zombies. This one is Zombies 2, which was my least favorite. I'm not going to talk about these a whole lot either because I really didn't enjoy these. Really, the only reason why Mel and I watched this trilogy was because she loves the first Zombies and it's spooky season. Obviously, I'm sure you can get a theme here. I decided I want to start watching more scary movies, horror movies, Halloween movies earlier this year because I really didn't go crazy last year with Halloween type movies. I really want to do that more this year, and I'm starting really this week. So, zombies, although they're not horror, they're kind of Halloween, I guess, just because they're monster movies, but yeah, they're really nothing crazy. Anyways, Zombies 2, I didn't enjoy really at all. I ranked a 27 out of 100. Not a good movie. Mel didn't like this one either. She thought it was really fucking stupid. Really, the only thing that I can say about this movie is that Zed is a completely different character from the first to this movie. Addison / Meg Donnelly, I love you very, very much. And Bucky Buchanan is very close to James Bucky Buchanan Barnes. So that's very interesting. Disney, what are you doing there, man? Technically, you own both characters, but still. Weird. Nonetheless, let's move on to what is my favorite scary movie, which I ranked a 30 out of 100, but the first scary movie. I definitely will say there were some things I enjoyed about this one, and it's probably just because of how biased I am to Scream, especially the first one, but that franchise in general. Scream is my favorite horror franchise. It's one of my favorite franchises. I've rewatched Scream, the first one, so many times already since my first watch of it. Not last year, but I believe the year before. Maybe last year, I don't remember. Anyways. Love Scream. Don't love Scary Movie, but I did enjoy this one more. And of course, there's so many references from so many different movies in these 5 scary movies, and I think there is a 6th one coming out within the next few years. But yeah, anyways, I did enjoy this one a little bit, but obviously not a lot. I mean, I ranked it a 30 out of 100, so. Let's move on to one of Mel's absolute favorites, which is Spooky Buddies, which she's been talking to me about watching all the Buddy movies for, a little over a year now since we met, really. We talked about the Buddy movies because I've never watched any of them. I think I've only watched Air Bud way, way back in the day. So it's been a really long time. I've never watched Spooky Buddies, but there was a black cat in it, so peak. We watched this with 2 of our friends, and honestly, we were just laughing the whole time about how bad and how funny this movie was. Not in a good way, but it was a lot of fun watching this, but it's not a good movie, obviously. I ranked it a 34 out of 100, so let's move on to the end of the Zombies trilogy with Zombies 3, which I ranked a 39 out of 100. Honestly, some pretty good CGI throughout this movie. My biggest issue with the first 2 movies is that the dance sequences want to be so much better than they are, and in this movie I definitely do find it better. Especially, the budget also just seemed higher in this one. So, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed this more than the second one, but I didn't enjoy this one a whole lot, obviously. A 39 out of 100 is not good whatsoever, so. Let's move on to yet another theme. This is really the only not Halloween theme, I think, or movies I watched this week, which is The Matrix. Starting it off with The Matrix Resurrections, which I really didn't enjoy this one very much. I ranked it a 41 out of 100. Honestly, I would say this one was quite disappointing. This one feels like a legacy sequel that shouldn't have been made, to be honest. I really didn't enjoy this movie, and I don't think many people really do. And this honestly made me even more confused about the Matrix world because I struggled going through these movies for the first time. I just don't understand the Matrix world at all. It really confuses me. It makes no sense to me, so I really think this franchise would benefit on a rewatch, or I would benefit from a rewatch for it anyways. I just didn't enjoy this one, and this one made me feel even more confused and kind of dumb, just because the dialogue confused me so much. So yeah, didn't love this one either, to say the least. So we actually get a pretty big jump to the next movie, and now I'd say movies were at least enjoyable. So we're starting it off with Superman Returns at a 61 out of 100. The first hour of this kind of flew by. I really enjoyed the first hour. The rest of the movie I didn't love, and you can read my review, but I really think there's just something about Lex that I don't like, unfortunately. I don't know what it is, but I just don't care for Lex Luthor as a character, and I don't like any of the portrayals of Lex either. I do really appreciate Brendan Routh kind of really trying to bring Christopher Reeve's depiction of Superman back in this movie, because I think he did a very good job, and I watched this with Ryan, and he thinks the same thing. We ranked this at a very similar 3-star each, so this actually ends up being my, I believe, 3rd favorite of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. Obviously this one isn't technically, but it is, it's the same franchise. We just haven't watched the theatrical release for Superman 2, which I think we are going to do at some point. But yeah, I mean, overall, I did enjoy this movie fairly. A 61 out of 100 is not bad, but not anything special either. So let's move on to the first Zombies, which is actually definitely the best of the trilogy in my opinion, and they are making a fourth, which I think comes out next year. But I didn't even mention this earlier, but the reason why we wanted to watch this trilogy was because of Chandler Kinney going to be on Dancing with the Stars here starting tomorrow, actually, by the time this video is going up. So we're excited for that. We're really excited for that. I'm very looking forward to that. And now we kind of know a little bit about Chandler Kinney, at least, no, not about, but, so shut up, Betty. I don't know if you can see her, but she's just in the middle of the room there. Anyways, Zombies, I would say, is decent as well. I definitely enjoyed this a hell of a lot more than I thought I was going to, ranking it at 67 out of 100. So that's kind of nice. Mel did enjoy this as well. I actually ranked it higher than Mel, only by a few points. We both have it at a 60-ish. She had it at a 65. I had it at a 67. We both have it at a 3-star. So, yeah, I mean, kind of surprised. We felt pretty similarly about ratings for this trilogy, but I think I might actually like this trilogy more than Mel, which is really surprising. I never would have expected that, but nonetheless, decent movie, to say the least. So let's move on to The Babysitter Killer Queen. Now, I really got to talk about The Babysitter as well, but we'll talk about that here shortly. I want a third movie so bad, because even though it doesn't really make any sense, fuck, I love these two movies, man. This is the first time I watched both of them, and they were so fucking funny, man. They were so fucking good. I really, really loved both of them. This one, not as fun or as enjoyable as the first one, but still so much sauce. And my favorite character from both of these movies is Robbie Amell. He has so much charisma and energy and just fun. It looks like he's having so much fun with this role, and I really, really enjoyed it. He was definitely the highlight of both movies for me, and I was very excited to see Samara Weaving come back, because I was a little worried she wasn't going to, but I was expecting it, but I was a little worried she wasn't going to, so I'm glad she did come back. But overall, I did enjoy this movie quite a fair amount as well. I ranked it at 75 out of 100. I seem to be much higher on these two movies than most people, so to say the least. We'll get there in just a moment, but let's move on to The Matrix Reloaded. Now, this one is very interesting. This one was a lot of dialogue that I didn't love. Again, I'm just very confused by the world of The Matrix, and it's hard for me to follow, so I ranked this as 76 out of 100. I mean, I did enjoy this, don't get me wrong, but it's just hard to get into it because I'm so confused. Struggling to know what's reality, what's in the Matrix, what's happening, what's not happening, I don't know. And I do need to say, Neo versus the Infinite Smiths might genuinely be the greatest action scene ever composed. It's absolutely insane. It's so fucking good. And I absolutely loved it. It was like I was so enticed, and my jaw was like on the floor because of how cool it was. I really, really enjoyed it. So definitely the highlight of this movie. Gets a decent rating, or a good rating, I'd say, at a 76. So let's move on to The Matrix Revolutions, which I think is a hot take that I enjoyed this more than the second movie. But yeah, I enjoyed this one more. I thought this was a great way to end the trilogy. I ranked it a 78 out of 100. Again, Smith versus Neo is just awesome. Smith is a great villain. Neo is an amazing protagonist. He's really, really great. He is the one. And I really, really, really love this trilogy, to be honest. Even though I didn't rank them all that high, I can't, because of how fucking confused I was all the time. So I hope one day I will be able to rewatch these and not feel as confused. So a 78 out of 100 for Revolutions. Now, let's move on to what is my second favorite watch of the week, which is actually The Matrix, which I got to see in theaters, fortunately enough. One of my local theaters is having a Keanu Fest throughout the month of September, celebrating the anniversary of some of his biggest movies. They did Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure for, I think, the 35th anniversary or something, like 30th anniversary earlier in the month. This week was The Matrix. Next week is, I want to say, John Wick. Then there's some others. Anyways, yeah, so I watched this in theaters, which is pretty cool. I was really looking forward to that. I ranked it an 81 out of 100. I definitely enjoyed it. Again, felt confused at times, but this is a crazy world building, and it's a lot to handle and take in. I just feel like I need to rewatch this trilogy because I probably won't ever rewatch the fourth one. I don't know if I want to do that to myself, but shout out to Keanu Reeves. Shout out to the 25th anniversary of The Matrix, one of the most influential films and franchises ever created. So super iconic. But let's move on to what was my favorite watch of the week, which was The Babysitter. I absolutely like thrill ride, joy ride, new comfort movie. I fucking loved this movie. An 87 out of 100 for my highest of the week, so not the highest by any means, but fuck, if I didn't have a good time with this, I'd be fucking lying. I absolutely adored this movie. It was so much fun. Samara Weaving is a new celebrity crush of mine. Everyone brought some absolute gas to this. Cole is a fucking legend. I love the references. I love the chemistry between Cole and B, or C and B. And again, Robbie Amell, man, absolutely stands out. Like, he's so much fun. Oh, I love it so much. Fuck. If there's any movie I'd recommend on this list, fuck The Matrix. Watch this. I know I'm much higher on this than most. It's got an average of 2.7 on Letterboxd, and I ranked it a 4-star. I ranked it an 87. Like, I definitely feel like I'm higher on this than most people, but I would just recommend it. So, yeah. Oh my god. I feel like I just went through a movie a minute, pretty much. So, thank you guys for watching. Check out the Letterboxd in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm gassed. That was a lot. Fuck.